to our professor, Dr. Maida L. Kadtong, to my fellow classmates, good morning and welcome to Mid 203 Foundation of Education. I am Jessabelle M. Camilon, your reporter. I will discuss the following topic, which is Catholic Counter-Reformation, Educational Realism, Verbal, Social, and Sense, Formal Discipline, Rationalism, and Naturalism. The Catholic Counter-Reformation. What is Reformation? Reformation, the religious revolution of the 16th century that began by trying to reform Catholicism and ended with the establishment of Protestantism. Catholic Counter-Reformation. It was the official response of the Catholic Church to the Protestant Reformation, the reform movement in the Catholic Church to strengthen the Church and keep Catholics from converting to Protestantism.
Let's proceed to the religious moralism as an educational force as Catholic Counter-Reformation. Aims, religious moralism and complete obedience to Church. Student, elementary for the poor, secondary and higher education for the future leader. Methods of instruction. General method, grading pupils according to their ability. They made the pupils recite to the class phonetic method. Curriculum, which is the 4 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, and religion in the elementary. More advanced study of classical literature, math, and logic. The agents, the elementary school, secondary school, the higher school, or the university, and the teacher training school. The financing, free elementary education for the poor, contribution to education, the phonetic method of teaching, reading and groupings according to the ability, convent school, realm of professional education, graduate school of law and medicine, and teacher training.
Educational realism. When we say educational realism, it's the belief that we should study logic, critical thinking, and scientific method to teach students to perceive and understand reality. Realism maintains the education should be concerned with the actualization of that life. The first educational realism is the verbal realism. Verbal realism, literature had to be studied not for its beauty, but for the preparation for practical living.
Verbal realism aims complete knowledge and understanding of environment, development of personality, development of the whole man. Education is to prepare for actual living. Student, birth to 6 years old, home. 7 years old to the boy had to enter public day school. 12 years old to 21, the boy should be given his entire education in the academy. Upper courses were taken in the university. Methods of instruction. Practical and liberal education that would be enable man to adjust himself to his environment. Curriculum, encyclopedic, that is, they covered almost all subject matters. Learning of the vernacular before learning other language. Physical exercise, games, Bible, study, readings of classics. Agent, parents. Financing, pupils in the lower school were free, but those of the higher school had to pay tuition fees, especially in the private school. Contributions to education, practical education that would enable man to adjust himself to his environment.
Second educational realism is the social realism. Social realism explains that education should equip learners for a happy and successful life as a man of the world.
Social realism aims pragmatic utilitarian, man of the world, decision-making and social relations. Student, the boy started with a tutor, then attended either the academy or the Ritter Academy. For a professional course, he attended the university. Methods of instruction, tutorial system, observation and social contact rather than books, travel, competition, application of what had been learned. Curriculum, history as the study of a man's past experiences, study of human behavior, responsibilities and duties, travel and experience, agent, tutor, academies and waiter academy. Financing, the pupils had to pay fees to the school and their tutors. Contribution to education, tutorial system, finishing schools, and private military academies.
The third educational realism is the sense realism. Sense realism, senses are the gateways of knowledge, and learning takes place the operation of the senses.
Sense realism aims for a harmonious society, religious, intellectual, and practical, scientific method. Student, School of Mother's Knee Preschool, vernacular elementary school for all from 7 years old to 12 years old. Latin school from 13 years old to 18 years old. University from 19 years old to 24 years old. Methods of instruction. Knowledge came through the sense. Use the inductive method and experimentation. General principle should be explained first and detail follow. Curriculum. Science type of training. Liberal education. Religious and moral education. Practical type of training. Linguistic and intellectual education. Democratic and vernacular education. Agent, parents. Financing, lower vernacular school for free. Higher school student has to pay the school fees. Contribution to education, the emphasis on science in the curriculum, the teaching of science by laboratory method, the use of the vernacular in teaching.
Formal discipline. It has in view of the correct ideal. One outcome of education should be the creation of a specific power of accomplishment.
Formal discipline aims formation of character and good habit formation. Student, elementary, secondary school, and college. Methods of instruction. Laws of habit formation. Desirable habits of thinking and acting. Drill and exercise. Corporal punishment was used extensively. Curriculum. Spelling, arithmetic, and grammar. And the latter history, geography, and the elementary science were offered classical languages and math and English. Agents, religiously motivated elementary school, humanistic secondary school, humanistic language or university, and tutor. Financing, pupils were admitted free in the vernacular elementary school but paid fees in the higher school. Contribution to education. Formal discipline as an educational process habit formation.
Rationalism. It was the movement that upheld the right of each individual to his own opinion, liberty of the conscience, and freedom of thoughts.
Rationalism aims intellectual freedom, living a life guided by reason, aristocracy of intelligence. The students went through the elementary, secondary, and college. Method of instruction: sense-based and application of reason. Curriculum: philosophy, science, arts, literature, and social refinement, polish, manners, formal etiquette, and the code of self-interest. There was no religion. Agent: secondary and higher school, encyclopedia, fashionable salons. Financing: they paid tuition fees, contribution, training of creative thinking and reasoning, use of the inductive method, and making generalizations.
Naturalism is the most influential movement of the 18th century, which stood for education in accordance with nature.
Naturalism aims to educate the child in accordance to the natural law as of development, free from all artificial. The student went through the elementary, secondary, and college. Women had inferior education. Methods of instruction: the child as the center of the education process, needs, activity, experience, knowledge. Curriculum: early stage sensory, training, latter stage science, language, math, manual work, moral education. Agent: parents and tutorship. Financing: they paid tuition fees, contribution to education. Education should follow the natural stages of development of the child. Principle of growth, principle of activity, and principle of individualization.